In this episode of Detroit Performs, the oldest and most prestigious chamber music presenters. An innovative orchestra celebrates a milestone. And a lesson in strings inspires children. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, the National Endowment for the Arts, the A. Paul and Carol C. Scott Foundation, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Detroit Performs. Today I'm hanging out at the Seligman Performing Arts Center on the campus of Detroit Country Day. Here is where Chamber Music Society Detroit performs multiple concerts a year. Are you wondering what exactly is Chamber Music Society Detroit? Well, you're in luck, because our first segment is all about the organization.
Chamber music is this magical art form.
Chamber music is music making, and by extension, I think also music listening. The Chamber Music Society of Detroit is a presenter of chamber music. But more than that, we're an audience that loves chamber music.
What we bring to Detroit is concerts of great chamber music. Year after year, bringing in all of these world-renowned artists and chamber ensembles for people to enjoy. And I think it's a great contribution to the community. And we have a loyal core audience that has been coming to our series for decades.
This is not high society, it's a group of friends. That society came together from the Central European immigrants who settled in the middle of Detroit, led originally by Karl Haas. They came to a way of listening to music together that fed their own sort of musical souls beautifully, but it also fed back to the musicians. And then when Tiny Conoco, the second president, took over, he developed very close relationships with the top ensembles of the day. And then our third president, Lois Besnos, came along, and she really professionalized the organization. And I'm determined that my stamp as fourth president is going to be the blowing the doors wide open and sharing that as broadly as possible, but without changing that nature of really loving the music for its own sake. In chamber music, there is no conductor. One person will do it one way, and then spontaneously the next person with it will do it slightly different, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. The third person will follow that lead, and the fourth person may complete it by dropping off entirely or by saying, no, we'll do it this way. And that kind of interpretive, spontaneous innovation, if you will, even though the notes are prescribed, but the way you play them is not, especially in the minute details. Then there is this interpretive evolution that the audience gets to see in real time. And that's one of the things that makes chamber music especially magical when it's live.
There's a chemistry that happens with the players on stage. In the case of the Montrose Trio, we've worked together for a long time. My colleagues, Martin and Clive, also played together in the Tokyo String Quartet for a very long time. So we have an innate understanding of how to listen to each other and play music with each other and connect and converse and all the great things that happen. And I think for the audience, they feel like they become part of the conversation.
When you come and hear a performance, even like the one tonight, the Mendelssohn's C minor trio, you have an opportunity not just to hear it and experience it, but in a sense to master it, master the listening of it.
here in Detroit, we know that we have extremely dedicated music lovers.
The audience is wonderfully warm and receptive and, I would say, knowledgeable and cultured. So when you play here, you're always received warmly, and you can feel that from the stage, even the minute that you walk on.
To me, that is a great advert for Detroit. The quality of the audience and the vision of the leaders here, and the fact that it's been around for 75 years and has flourished for so long.
We are dealing with incredible masterworks of repertoire. In this program to celebrate the Chamber Music Society of Detroit, we're playing a huge trio by Felix Mendelssohn, big romantic work, and another very big romantic work, the trio by Tchaikovsky. It's the only significant chamber music work that Tchaikovsky wrote, and it happens to be the work that was played on the second half of the very first concert of the Chamber Music Society of Detroit 75 years ago. So we thought we have to play that piece to celebrate this. It's a huge honor for me personally and for the Montrose Trio as a group to be playing this opening concert for the 75th anniversary season.
It's just a huge milestone, 75 years, and how we're celebrating it. So with a stellar lineup of artists and programs, with the launch of 2 new series, which is a pretty major undertaking in Grosse Pointe and in Canton.
Live performance is more than just the person on the stage. It's a two-way street, and the kind of interaction that's modeled in that relationship and has been for 75 years is absolutely magical, but it's very, very special at the Chamber Music Society of Detroit.
You can learn more about Chamber Music Society Detroit, as well as all the artists that we feature on DetroitPerforms.org. Now that we've touched on small ensemble classical music, let's change things up a bit and find out what the orchestra can do on stage. The Michigan Philharmonic is a professional orchestra, which happens to be celebrating a milestone of their own. Here is the Michigan Philharmonic with conductor Nan Washburn.
Anytime you put a group of talented people up on the stage, it's going to showcase what community means.
It's really my job to just kind of bring us together as one musical voice. Not easy to do, but it's wonderful when it happens.
The Michigan Philharmonic is a regional professional orchestra made up of players from all around the Detroit area and sometimes even beyond. And we have our world headquarters, we like to say, here in Plymouth. We sort of call ourselves the nomadic orchestra because we travel all around and we play pretty much across southeast Michigan. We are still considered what they would label a per-service orchestra, meaning that we hire for each concert that we do. But we have a terrific core group of players that do everything with us. And conductor Nan Washburn, who came in here 20 years ago, so we're celebrating her 20th season with us. And that was a little bit of a stretch for an orchestra that had been just existing as kind of in a community model for all that time. To bring, first of all, a woman, somebody from California, and, to come here to this kind of small town and really change things up a bit. And she certainly did.
I come from a very diverse kind of community, and I was so happy to find that same diversity when I came to Southeast Michigan. And I've also branched out in lots of other different kinds of music, and I just feel that it's really important that any orchestra reflect the community at large.
The Naniversary is our little play on words for celebrating the beginning of her 20th season with the Michigan Philharmonic.
This is kind of a Nan's wish list. I asked for a little bit bigger orchestra than we normally can afford, so that offered a few things, and I just wanted to put 4 great pieces together. So I'm starting off with a piece that's brand new to me, Berlioz' Roman Carnival Overture, which is just exciting and a great start to the season. And then I'm so happy that we've invited Danielle Belen to be our violin soloist. And when I heard about her, I thought, I want to do the Samuel Barber Violin Concerto, which is just one of my favorites. It's just a fabulous piece. And she's just knock your socks off terrific.
I was absolutely delighted when Nan Washburn reached out to me to solo with her orchestra. She mentioned the Barber Violin Concerto, and that was the clincher. I think you have to have a lot of grit to play this piece.
And then after intermission, we're going to do a piece by Weil Benali. His piece is called Earth, and it was written for a climate change conference in Qatar. It's very tuneful and beautiful. Last piece is Hindemith's Symphonic Metamorphosis, which is a piece that goes way back for me, and it's just happy and fun and big and splashy, and I thought, that's a great Naniversary.
It's really fantastic to have the opportunity to work with an orchestra that has a female at the helm. The orchestra also has a lot of respect for her because she's incredible at what she does, and she's passionate about them and about the soloists that she brings in. You feel a lot of authenticity.
That's it. So just, it's mainly in the middle of the phrases that we can't slow down. The ends we can do a little bit, but mostly not on that second part of the variation. Everything that you bring to conducting is so unique. It's learning the music, understanding what you want to say in the music. It's an interpretive thing, but I always go back to see what the composer intended. You have to figure out a style, all of that, and then you have to figure out gestures that will hopefully get the sound and the ensemble that you have in your head.
She's definitely an advocate for women conductors because, first of all, we always like to say she really is in a man's world. There are a lot of people that when they look up on that stage and they don't see a guy, they're like, wait, what's going on here? But there are lots more women conductors out there now. Joanne Folletta, there are a lot of people that are making quite a name for themselves. And Nan is one of them, too. We've won lots of national awards, and a lot of it is because of her and because of the programming that she's done.
This is my first introduction to this orchestra, and I look forward to future collaborations with them. They're a fantastic group of people. I could not imagine working with a more spirited and hardworking group.
I'd like to think that we are all very proud about where the orchestra has gone. I mean, that's the thing about different conductors. They all have a vision, and I had a very specific one, heavily on education and the multicultural thing, and bringing in new composers and making the orchestra grow in excellence. And I think we've achieved that. So at a plateau, we will go on from there too.
Now let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around the D. In Sacramento, California, university students are taking the lead in teaching elementary school children the disciplined art of playing a string instrument. Here is the String Project's win-win collaboration.
The String Project is a program in which children, typically 3rd through 7th graders, study violin and cello from the beginning with university students. The university students are trained in teaching children by master teachers.
Stop. You can't be behind.
Because we have world-class string teacher trainers as our master teachers, we're training the children to play the instruments really well and effectively.
So I play violin, and I've been playing ever since I was 5 years old. So I started at a very young age, and I grew a big passion for it around my preteen years. I decided to go into music because I didn't see myself in any other career, and I saw myself growing in this major.
I'm professor of cello and chamber music here at Cal State Sacramento School of Music, and I am the founder and the director of the String Project. There is nationwide a severe shortage of teachers because there has been so much cuts to art funding and education, and that's what started the String Project movement. The Cal State Sacramento String Project is part of a national consortium of string projects. There are about 35 of these at universities around the US. Our program is one of 2 or 3 that focuses on offering the opportunity for kids from underserved backgrounds to get lessons.
On a personal level, I have always felt that the arts are an important thing. In the area that I work, in the Robles School District, which is a very high poverty part of the city of Sacramento, our student population is over 90% free and reduced. That's the federal poverty level. And that becomes a characteristic of certain aspects of their lives, one of which is that their parents do not have the resources to take them to musical instrument lessons. One of our goals in the district is to give our students a variety of experiences that enrich their lives, and that enhances their language development. We see a strong connection there. And there's a lot of research about the brain and the effect of music and the arts on the brain. We offer to pay the registration fees, either through district funds or the Education Foundation, for the first 2 semesters. And then we also have now purchased instruments that the district owns that we can loan to our students at no cost.
I actually started in a program pretty similar to this. Coming from a program like this, it's always been rooted in me to do the same, to be able to allow kids to have the same opportunities that I did growing up, because I know that a lot of kids don't. And I feel very, very fortunate because everything I got for free, and I know that a lot of people struggle to pay for the cost of music.
We typically have about 80 children studying in the string project. That's 20 or so from Robles, so that's about a quarter of the children in the program. And the rest come from anywhere and everywhere.
My son is Caden, and he's 10, and he's been playing the violin. This is his second year in the string project.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's cool because I might go here one day, and it's cool to see lots of other kids.
I think the kids are gaining a lot of inspiration because some of them will go on to be doctors, lawyers, or engineering majors. Not all of them are going to go into music, but I feel like music inspires them to work hard, to never give up, and to, keep striving for their goals and their aspirations.
It's life-changing for some of these families. There's no way in the world they would have had a chance to have violin or cello or get to know the music of Mozart or Beethoven, and these families are really excited about what it's doing for their children.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank the Seligman Performing Arts Center for letting me check out the theater today. I urge you to come out and check out an upcoming Chamber Music Society Detroit performance for yourself. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta Faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929. Funding is also provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, the National Endowment for the Arts, the A. Paul and Carol C. Scott Foundation, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.